Hello and welcome. We are so excited to welcome you to Living Cities Earth experience. Please enjoy the next few minutes, and we hope that this video and the ideas from our speakers will change your life to the better. Listen carefully. What particularly talks to you? What might have a chance to change your life and lives of people around you? Also, life of your place and our planet. We believe that you, the leaders of positive change, are those who define the future. So let's work together. And thank you for coming.
So, probably a few words about SDG Plus Club. So who we are, I've already mentioned that. And even the mission of this club. So we are a global nonprofit organization that is welcoming all people around the globe, regardless of nationality, location, etc. So it's totally online because, again, it's super accessible by everybody. No local representation, physical representation, because that would kind of intrinsically mean that there's some kind of locations where you can go visit the club meetings and where you can't. So it's super equal and accessible in that regard. Unfortunately, or fortunately, the only language is English because it's kind of the most spoken language nowadays. And I guess so all the trends show that this very language is going to be even more and more spread all over the world. And I really hope that that would be a unifying enabler for all the people so that they can speak the same language, regardless of the meaning of that phrase, right? So you have to, before you speak the same language, you have to speak the same language. So like literally. And that's why we really help the participants to study English, to be able to feel themselves, the members of that global community, to feel themselves citizens of the globe, and to really be empathetic and feel the pains that are felt like in different organs of the body in different parts of the world, because that's the same body, right? It's your own body. Whether you have a pain in your knee or in your neck or in your head or in your heart, you're still ill, right? So you have to be healthy with all your organs all together at the same time. So, or you will be unhappy. So that's also one of the images we have to bring to the agenda. So we are currently 126 members. We're going to grow to about 300 to 700 this year, and probably to 20,000 in 3-5 years, because we feel that's the amount, that's the number of people we need to really make a global impact, a global change, to really influence with the power. And we need Indra for that, right? we need Indra for the power to really make the impact, make the change. So again, everybody is invited. I guess all the links and materials or whatever would be shared with the participants, with the guests, with the watchers, listeners of this seminar or conference. And now I'm going to show you a couple of slides. Just wait a second, please. I'm sorry, Lev and other organizers, do I have the right? It seems I don't have the right to share the screen. Can you please enable sharing? Thank you. Okay, let's try. Yeah, it seems to work. Wait a second now. Yeah, so can you see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So let's start. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. I'll be really brief. So just to emphasize the importance, because our conference is named Happy Cities, right? Happy cities, happy earth. Why those notions are interrelated. So this graph just shows that most of the population ultimately would live in cities. in urban population. So we have to really emphasize that. And I guess it wouldn't be overestimation to say that sustainability has to happen in the cities, in the communities. So thank you for organizing this lab and kind of putting our attention to this very level of decision making, and at the same time engaging the people in city management or community management or habitat settlement management, whatever you call it. So as we've already talked a little bit, our today's guests are from the UN Habitat organization, and I really thank you for that, for joining. It's just my little observation that UN Habitat, I guess, was the founder of this methodology or framework that is called City Prosperity Index, and it covers different angles. And I hope Dr. Okafor and Aida would be able to unveil it even further today. But I guess so it's cool because already 539 cities are already using this methodology. And it's really important. As Lev said, I'm obsessed with numbers, with figures, with benchmarks, with something quantifiable, because then you can do the comparison between different cities, because then you can set the targets and you can allocate resources and you can measure the progress. So that's why I just wanted to bring your attention that there exists this methodology, this framework, as well as some other frameworks that probably our guests are going to talk about today. So here are just a few examples, a few aspects of sustainable development of city, like renewable energy, transportation, circularity, green space, smart city, gender pay, and the density of the population. So we've just analyzed the data from the resources mentioned on this slide. So we tried to make it justified. Here are the figures that we've found. So as you can see here, only 50% of cities really apply sustainable development principles in city management. But it has to grow to about 90% by the end of this century. Again, the green space per capita, 50%, and needs to grow to 90%. Gender pay gap, also really important, especially in terms of the gender equality goal in the sustainable development. It also is going to decrease this gap. The circularity is going to grow. The renewable energy sources that I am kind of trying to emphasize my attention on. Then the 5G or some other technologies, because smart cities are easier becoming sustainable, because again, they can track, emissions, they can measure the parameters, they can influence those parameters. As for the technologies promoting health-related sustainability goals, namely telemedicine, we see that it's quite spread nowadays, but it has to grow also to increase. Again, we have the goal number 3, healthcare and well-being for all, that we have to expand the affordability, the accessibility of those services. And then we have the sustainable transport. Then I'll just pass over the next slide because they're just talking in detail about each and every parameter and some kind of explanation what each of them means. But yes, just to save time, I won't go in detail on that, but just showing and spending some time so that our viewers that would watch this watch this meeting in the recording, they would have the chance to familiarize themselves with these deep explanations. And here you can find all the links for the proof links for the data sources we've used to basically collect and create this deck. And basically, I'm going to finish here. Probably I was as quick as possible because we have very beautiful guests today. And let us probably start with Aida, who is, as Lev already mentioned, the head of UN Habitat Tunisia. And she will probably tell her perspective and probably share some slides about this term of sustainability, how we distinguish the sustainable city from non-sustainable city. How can we influence that? So Aida, the floor is yours. Thank you very much for joining again.
Wow, you have made it. You just watched amazing insights from experts of Living Cities Earth ecosystem. we welcome you to the Living Cities Earth experience and hope that we are going for a long ride as we take care of ourselves, our communities, our cities, and our planet. Thank you and welcome.